The Lightning Collection is easily one of the best Power Rangers toy lines. It's allowing fans like me to finally have detailed representations of their favorite characters. However, there is a long history behind how these figures came to be, and what inspired their creation. I'm JulioCoolio, and today, we'll be covering the rise of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Toy collecting has a long history that dates back to the 1970s. However, the rise of collector-oriented figures became most noticeable in the late 90s and early 2000s. Toy Biz sought to create items for both kids and collectors with their popular Marvel license. The result was Spider-Man Classics, an umbrella term for multiple toy lines focusing on the webhead's iconic allies and foes. The action figures were designed with polished details and varied articulation, as well as including numerous accessories and a comic book or poster significant to each character. Each wave would also feature a figure more limited in quantity than the others, nicknamed the Chase of the Wave. Extra figures were sold as multi-packs or store exclusives. These details made the line a success, and Toy Biz sought to replicate the results with the rest of the Marvel Universe. Thus, the Marvel Legends series came to light in 2002. Legends kept the Spider-Man Classics formula, but introduced the Build-A-Figure in 2005. This system included an extra piece in each figure. When someone bought a whole wave, they could combine those pieces to form a larger character, such as Galactus. In 2006, Hasbro acquired the rights to produce Marvel toys. The new figures would feature updated molds while removing the paper. Strangely though, they began to gradually release less figures. The line's cancellations seemed inevitable, until it formally returned in 2012. Hasbro went above and beyond with their releases. Along with the waves, gift sets, and store exclusives, they amplified those with web exclusives and HasLab crowdfunding projects. The line has even branched out to roleplay items and retro-style figures. The success of Marvel Legends has made it the usual example of adult collectors' toys. After its launch, other companies such as Mattel, Super 7, NECA, and Hot Toys would cash in on this trend. Even the Japanese Tamashii nations caught on, with their SH Figuarts based on various properties. Soon enough, Power Rangers would be no exception. Around 2006, Power Rangers approached its 15th anniversary. To celebrate, Bandai America released a few Red Rangers in the 6.5-inch scale with display stands. The next year, these figures were re-released, along with those missing in the previous wave. The line was officially dubbed Super Legends in 2008, after the crossover video game. The focus shifted to 6-inch figures of various Sixth Rangers and Lord Zed. These figures shared their height and articulation with the mainline figures of previous years. 2009 saw the debut of two new figure types, the Super Legends Extreme and Retrofire Megazords. Super Legends Extreme featured 7.5-inch figures with show-accurate proportions and a display stand. Meanwhile, the Retrofire Megazords were 5-inch articulated figures of past and present Megazords. Diorama figures of the RPM Red and Gold Rangers were also planned, most likely a counterpart to the Figuart Zero statues. These plans were scrapped eventually, as the franchise's future was uncertain. Bandai still held the rights to produce the toys, but Disney saw the show as a liability.
Cried the Archdeacon.
Saban heard the news, and offered to buy back the franchise. They planned to revitalize it in ways Disney never did, especially with the impending 20th anniversary. 2013 is when Bandai officially made collector's items a staple of their output. The Legacy toy line began with updated versions of various Zords and weapons from the original Mighty Morphin era. They supplemented these with new 5-inch versions of the original 7 Rangers and Lord Zed the next year, which fit with their mainstream action heroes. Despite all the diecast parts and painted details, Bandai still needed more to compete with the Marvel Legends. Tamashii Nations released a few Sentai figure arts stateside, but those were often expensive and hard to find. Thus, in 2016, Bandai announced a new line of 6.5-inch figures, with the goal to release every Power Ranger in existence. Like Legends, the Legacy Power Rangers featured multiple points of articulation, a BAF gimmick, and a $20 price tag. Each figure came with a BAF piece, a holster, and their sidearm. At the time, many fans enjoyed having multiple Rangers in the same scale. Even if the height was slightly taller than Legends, the figures are big enough to grab, the joints are sturdy but flexible, and the paint details are exquisite. I was a huge fan as I bought most of the main releases. If I had to rank them, my list would look something like this. The boxes also added a sense of regalness, with colored lightning bolts, a black background, and a high quality picture of the Ranger. Regardless of initial success, the line experienced a variety of issues. Primarily, the sculpts were slightly exaggerated. The males faced the typical problem of looking too muscular. However, the female figures suffered the most. They featured excessive cleavage along with skinny legs and tiny hands. These details made the figures difficult to position at times. My pink Zeo and blue Wind Rangers have fallen out of their shelves countless times. The buildable Megazord looks sleek, but the articulation is flimsy due to the reuse of mix and morph joints.
Like I said with the Storm Megazord for the Ninja Storm line, the fact that it uses the mix and morph joints.
The Legacy line also featured a few exclusives. However, most of these were repaints of other figures at a higher cost. As I mentioned previously, the Rangers only came with their holster weapons. Bandai opted to solve this by re-releasing the Mighty Morphin Rangers with metallic paint and no BAF piece. This outraged many fans, as Bandai wanted to sell the same product twice. Finally, each wave only includes half of a team. For example, Wave 3 includes 2 Mighty Morphin and 3 Space Rangers. The BAF piece comes by teams instead of waves like the Marvel Legends. This resulted in long wait times to complete certain teams, since the new waves only release twice a year. So you can have a completed Storm Megazord in Wave 1. Still, your Dino Megazord would remain amputated for the next 6 months. Going back to the release schedule, Bandai usually picked the most popular teams, or ones tying into a current event. For example, the Wind Rangers released in Wave 1 in anticipation of Ninja Steel. Depending on how popular your favorite team is, you could be waiting quite a few years to get Rangers from Lost Galaxy or Operation Overdrive. If you still want to see how those teams would have looked in the Legacy style, @FitchWorks Customs on Instagram has created some fantastic models. And while people could find the Legacy figures easily, my local Walgreens stopped selling them altogether by the end of 2017. I was only able to find Psycho Red because I was traveling in New York. When I went to Ranger Stop 2019, Patrick David himself told me he also had a hard time finding the figure. However, the worst of these offenses was Bandai's handling of female figures. There is a huge debate in the toy industry surrounding the profitability of female action figures. Instead of limiting the production as intended, Bandai either outright cancelled some figures or left them as GameStop exclusives. This applied to not just the Legacy figures, but all of the toys in general. The criticisms piled up by the end of 2017. Any figure that featured gold detailing was given a mustard color without comment. It was first revealed infamously with the gold Zeo Ranger. The boxes also received a downgrade in Wave 5, looking more like a typical action figure package. Toku Chris's article, Bandai America reaches for gold and settles for participation trophy perfectly summarizes the disappointment fans felt. Even with the announcement of more figures, the fans began to lose interest. However, this is where the story reaches its turning point. After 25 years, Saban suddenly parted with Bandai. Any planned legacy figures were immediately cancelled, and the toy license went to Hasbro. It's ironic. Power Rangers collector's figures came full circle. Fans eagerly awaited a positive change, and their prayers were answered when Hasbro revealed the Lightning Collection at Power Morphicon 2018. The line would release the following spring. Like Marvel Legends, these figures measure 6 inches, feature multiple points of articulation, include various accessories, and feature body molds accurate to the characters. They also featured civilian heads for certain characters, a rarity for Power Rangers. Rather than a BAF gimmick, special effect pieces are included. This allows fans to mimic the show's action, much like SH Figuarts did with their toys. Even the packaging defines a clear distinction from the last toy line. Hasbro hired Tom Whalen to create a colorful, yet simple style of packaging. As I mentioned, Bandai tried to go for a season-by-season approach, with a blend of mixed waves. Instead, Hasbro decided an anthology approach would best satisfy the fans. This allows the line to jump back and forth between different seasons of the franchise. Each wave consists of 4 figures, a Mighty Morphin character, a Red Ranger, another Ranger, usually 6th or extra, and a random figure. One of these figures is sold in limited quantities, making them the chase of the wave. True to Legends fashion, Hasbro releases many exclusives in between waves due to stores, online retailers, and conventions. Like with the Legacy figures, I love how we finally have multiple characters in the same scale. However, there is no doubt Lightning is the superior series. Hasbro offers a lot more than Bandai at the same price range. I also believe the anthology approach is brilliant. I can finally have a scenario where, say, Wes, Trini, and Magna Defender team up against Lord Zed and Psycho Black. The regular figures also being 6 inches allows for a variety of crossplay and display, so we can add steel to the mix. Overall, Lightning goes above and beyond what Legacy sought out to achieve. And while all of these figures are equally amazing, this is how I would rank them. Despite seeming perfect in every way, the Lightning Collection has faced a few drawbacks. For starters, some of the figures may get damaged in the plastic. This may cause stiff joints, loose joints, or even breakage. I had to return my Green Ranger and putty set after his leg came almost shaved off. I also couldn't bend one of the legs, despite applying hot water and soap. The paint apps can be pretty hit or miss. This was especially the case with Psycho Green, where 4 different people got helmets varying in quality. Either the figures are packaged too early to notice, or the people painting the figures forget a few details every so often. There are also a few cases where the civilian heads look uncanny, especially when teeth are involved. Though all of these issues seem to tie back to their rapid release schedule. Don't get me wrong, I always love having more figures, though it sometimes feels like Hasbro rushes through these, which prevent them from ensuring quality. Most infamously, Wave 3 was found in American stores the same day it was officially revealed. Dino Charge Gold lacked neck paint unlike his red counterpart. The spikes on Draken's helmet came squished in the box, which would leave paint marks if lifted. Speaking of reveals, the Lightning Collection is known to have its items leaked months in advance with code names. Twitter user @PowerRangerTalk and Lightning Storm host Josh Perry have contributed the most to these leaks. Josh particularly has created multiple documents extensively detailing the releases of the Lightning Collection. His information was especially helpful in compiling this video, and I'll link to the documents below. Even with its issues, the Lightning Collection continues a streak of success. The figures have become fan favorites, and more are revealed with each passing week. And much like Legacy before it, Lightning is beginning to delve into roleplay items and Megazords. In the end, Power Rangers collector's figures have morphed significantly throughout the years. The Legacy series was conceptually a step in the right direction. However, mismanagement and changes within the franchise led to the line's collapse. The Lightning collection grew stronger than before from these ashes. Even casual fans are starting to relish in non-MMPR characters. It has become a staple of collector's toys, along with Marvel Legends, Masters of the Universe Classics, and even the new G.I. Joe Classified series. What do you think of the Legacy and Lightning collections? What do you want to see next from Lightning? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay updated on the latest videos. If you want more things Coolio, make sure to follow me on social media. Well, I'm Julio, stay Coolio, and thanks for watching everyone!